Lefty Kreh created this fly in the 1950s for stripers in Chesapeake Bay. It has won the hearts of fly fishermen around the world, chasing many different species on a fly rod.
G'day everyone, and welcome to another segment on the bench. Today I'm going to be tying up Leftys Deceiver, one of our great saltwater patterns of all time. Here's a Dyriki 2/0 hook and vise here. Good long shanked hook. You can tie it in shorter shanks if you want. I'm going to be tying it about mid shank with this one. We'll be coming in with, I have some red 6/0 wax, classic wax thread. Or that's a uni thread actually on here. And the reason I like to use that versus this flat thread is I'm going to be using polar bear hair on this one, and it is very slippery to tie with. So this Deceiver strung rooster saddle is Wapsie selecting that. You can buy a whole bag of that. I'm going to tie 2 on each side. And down there, get the stems down good. And you can also, there's some thinner or smaller spades in here too that are really good for nice shorter deceivers. So match those saddles up. Cut those tips off. There we go. Now I'll bring in one of my favorites is a polar flash. I use this a lot on saltwater flies. Put a little of that on both sides here. And we'll just come out to the end of the hackles. There we go. Just sneak past the tip a little bit. That's good. To the braided body, I'm going to be using some medium Palmer chenille. It's another nice bright body material. Bring that forward. Okay, now we'll leave quite a bit of room here to get the rest of our business done. I'm lucky up here in Canada we can get this seal fur and polar bear hair and that. It's about as good as materials I've ever seen to tie with. It's really a lot of great attributes. Okay, so we're going to come to the bottom. Here's some polar bear right here. It's just got a sheen to it that can't be duplicated. Grab a little chunk of that for the bottom, make sure we have it cleaned out. Come on one side, just gonna roll it on the bottom. And you don't want to tie too much in at one time, because it is very slippery. And you can get, there is some kind of substitutes for polar bear. Like I said, it can't be substituted in my opinion anyway, but do what you gotta do. I'm gonna come on each side here, pull them long ones out, lay that on the side. So the Deceiver is basically tied top and bottom. I like to kind of envelope the shank here a little bit more. Give it a little more of a, those are a little bit short. I'll have to use them for another. These are getting kind of long. Some of these here, well, here's are some really long stuff. So you have to work with that. Tie that in. I'm cutting these at a bit of an angle and covering over top. We get lots of good wraps. And get that white right around the belly and the sides. Okay. And I'll just sneak a little more of my polar flash in there because I'm just hooked on this stuff. Probably my flash I use the most. And we're going to come in off just above that, kind of mid-shank. So we got lots of, I don't mind these bright flies at all. I fish a lot of darker water in Florida too, so these flies, I'd like them a little bit brighter. And so now we got a bit of a taper going on it. Okay, so I'm going to in the bottom here, another thing we're going to do is put a little bit of red. Get some red polar bear on the bottom. Trim that off a bit of an angle because we're going to have to tie that in a few at a time, and then you just kind of work them back. But I do have another little trick up my sleeve here that I'll just show you in a minute. But you want to make them nice and solid. We'll keep the red on the bottom. You can use, there's all kinds of colors. There's a nice little orange, makes a nice belly too. And here we go with black. And these are, it's got the natural taper to it, or curve. Just work with that. Just take that under fur out. I'm just going to get a lot of really good turns on there with that. Cut those butts off. Oh, so cut a little bit of thread. That's okay. Just keep going. I'm going to keep wrapping this solid here with this red. Get my good big head in here with red. And you can use white or whatever color you want, but this is a pretty good fly color for me. Okay, now here's another nice flash. This is Semper Flash, a Skeena blend here, kind of a black and purple green. Some of this is really nice flash. Just throw a little bit of that on the top. Press it up. Comes a little past the pattern, that's fine. Now, what I would... Okay, so when I get my fly tied, I want to cement those hairs down. Now, one thing I want to suggest is tie all your flies first and then do the finishing and last. Otherwise, glue and hair and feathers and all that on your desk don't get along real good. So I'm going to be using some JB Super Weld on here on the bottom. And that'll run right down into the shank of that hook. This is really good stuff. It penetrates right through that thread and all the hair. So that's what I'd start with, JB Super Weld. Okay. And also when I'm taking my glue bottles, I always set them in. Here's some lead, and I'll just put them in there so the bottles are inverted. Here's another one. I've got the UV resin in here, so it's all ready to come out the tube. You don't have to wait for it to run up. Grab some, these are Ultra Eyes. Stick them on. Well, the glue is wet. Pretty even. Yeah, they look pretty good. I'm going to wait for that to dry, and then I'm going to come back. The next step will be my UV resin. So this is all going to dry. I would take, if I'm doing a dozen flies or whatever the amount, I'll just lay them on my table, or I'll actually stick these all into a foam block and let them dry really good. So I do all my finishing at the same time, and you'll get more consistent, and then you won't get all this mess getting in the way. Okay, so now we've got the Super Weld is dry. I'm just going to take my UV resin in here, run that down between the eyes. Cook that on my torch. should have the top. Make sure you do get a good long cure on that. I'm going to invert it to the bottom and fill the eyes up on that side. Get yourself some good resin. This is Semperfli thin, UV resin thin, but it's kind of a medium viscosity. You can get ultra thin and all that, but it won't build a very big head for you, of course. So make sure you get your torch on here. Give it a good set. Looks pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that, and I got lots of. And you can also, a good idea is take it out, and if you have them all in your foam blocks, just take it out in the sunshine and really get a good cure on it. But here is Leftys Deceiver in the black and white and red. Very, very good color. And like I said, if you're lucky enough to use polar bear, you're going to be really amazed how good that fish is. Lefty Kreh come up with this pattern, I think, in the 1950s, and it's still one of the best saltwater flies out there to date. So thanks to Lefty. Was contributed so much to the fly fishing community. Everybody knows a Lefty Kreh. If you're a fly fisher, you know him. Done a tremendous amount of work in the industry. All right, thanks again. We'll catch you again real soon.
Thanks for watching Brent's fly fishing instructional series. He can be found on Brent's YouTube channel and Sport Fishing on the Fly.